What's going on, guys? June 30th, 2023, and it's Friday. So we just finished up a long day of calls. It's about 6:30, and yeah, it was a busy day. It was a long day. It was a busy week. We had a really long, busy week this week. I'm glad it's over. But we got a couple calls I'm going to show you that I filmed today. So the first one up was a no cooling call. Was low on refrigerant, and we offered the customer a couple options, and let me show you the route he went. All right, we got one here running but not cooling. My money's on a low charge situation. Let's take a look. Before I hook up any gauges, I just want to do a visual inspection, see if I see any oil. There does seem to be oil down here. A valve cap missing, the service valve cap missing. So I'm going to hit it with the leak detector and see what we got. This system here has had a leak before. Leak checking in here. Getting hits on the coil. All right, as you guys can see, it's got a leak in the evaporator coil. I priced the evaporator coil pretty expensive for the customer. Quoted it to him, but looks like we're going to go this route. We're going to go ahead with the Easy Seal route. This is the 10-ton model by Nu-Calgon, and we are going to put this in the system, and then we're going to charge it back up. The leak isn't that big, so I'm thinking this leak sealant will seal it. So let's go ahead and get started and put this on. We'll start it up, we'll let it run for a little while, put this in, and then top it off. Something I just noticed, this unit has two filter dryers. It has one here and one that's factory installed inside here. This is kind of rusty and cocky, but it's not leaking. I tested it. I'm guessing somebody did a repair at one time, didn't know that filter dryer was there, and then stuck this one in here. I don't know. Weird. All right, we'll go over the directions for the Easy Seal here. Step 1, make sure system is running and connect Easy Seal Ultimate LS suction service port or to suction service port on system. So basically our sealant tube is going to go on the suction side. Step 2, connect high side line of manifold gauge set to the high side service port. Purge air from hoses and connect center yellow hose to Easy Seal Ultimate LS. Okay? And then briefly open high side valve on gauge set to allow a little liquid refrigerant to push Easy Seal Ultimate LS into system. Close high side manifold valve and disconnect. Note, Easy Seal Ultimate LS will have a small bubble of dry dissolved gas in the fluid that is injected during the filling process to ensure a consistent fill rate. Do not bend, cut, or deform the Easy Seal Ultimate LS tube. Be careful not to allow refrigerant to spray on bare skin. All right, so out of the bag, or out of the box, it comes in this little bag, and it's got the instructions listed again on it. All right, and here is our injector. This will go on the low side, and we'll this will go on the low side, and we'll inject it that way. We connected it from at this low side, the true suction port, because it's a Trane system. They give us one there because the tube was a little big to go right there, so that's where we hooked it up at, right there. All right, and then we are going to hook our low side hose up right here onto it. Just like that. Now I have this ball valve closed now. That's the way I like to do it. I like to keep the ball valve closed. All right, and what we're gonna do right now is we're going to open our high side here. They say to connect your charging hose, but you can do it like this also, almost like you're taking your gauges back off. So you're going to open up your high side. Make sure your hoses are tight. All right, open up your high side, and then open up your low side also. All right, so now I have a full column of liquid up till here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this valve up and we're going to shoot that dye with the high pressure, the sealant with the high pressure directly into the system. And it's gone. And do it a couple more times. Making sure it's all out of there. Then we're going to close our high side here. We're going to make sure all of our liquid bleeds out. And we're going to start dropping down here. And there, our Easy Seal Ultimate LS leak sealant is installed in the system. Now we're going to take the injector tube off, put our hose back on, and we'll charge this thing up. Now before we've added any refrigerant at all, this is our pressures after we added the Easy Seal. 4 degrees of subcooling, 65 degrees of superheat. We only have an 8-degree saturation with a 60 degree or 60 psi suction. So she's going to take quite a few pounds. Holding is 8 pounds 3 ounces. I'm going to say this thing probably holds more like maybe 9. Of course, it's not dead low, so I'm going to estimate this thing is going to take at least maybe 5 to 6 pounds. We'll say 6 pounds. Right, we got our refrigerant hooked up. We're going to bleed off any air. All right, we're going to start adding. We're going to add liquid. The can's upside down. That means we got liquid. We're going to add liquid through the low side slowly. And this system's got to run for at least an hour after it's got this leak sealant put in it. All right, we're 4 pounds in already. And we're showing some improvement. Our suction line temperature has not came down much though. Our superheat is still high. Suction line temperature is starting to come down a little bit now. We'll give it a few minutes before we add any more. All right, 5 pounds in and we're close. I think it's going to take at least 1 more pound. We're getting close though. All right, we took exactly 6 pounds and we're looking pretty good. 15 degrees of superheat. A little high on the subcooling, 18 degrees, but you know, that's not too bad. And we have a 58 degree suction line temp, 43 degrees of saturation. Looking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and take a temperature split here in 1 minute. Right, we're 58 and still dropping on the supply. And a 76 degree return. We're looking at about an 18 degree split. Pretty good. All right, yeah, so it took exactly 6 pounds. And just one final look at the numbers here. Not too bad. I would add a little more to try to get that superheat down a little bit and suction line temp down a little bit, but my subcooling is as high as it is, so I think we're good there. We got an 18-degree split, and I think it's good to go. All right, yeah, so that Easy Seal by Nu-Calgon works really well. Hopefully it attacks that leak that we have and seals it up, because the coil replacement on that would have been pretty costly. The coil replacement would have been 4 times the price of what he paid today to add that Easy Seal and to charge him back up. So I'm hoping it works. Of course, you can't offer any guarantees when you do a leak sealant like that. So, all right, guys. Well, next up, we have a Fujitsu unit making a really weird noise when it starts up. So let's take a look at that one. We got a Fujitsu unit here that's making a really weird noise when it tries to start. The compressor doesn't start, and then it ends up cutting off. The weird thing is we don't have any error codes though. So I'm gonna try to catch it while it's making that weird noise. There it goes. Still can't tell where that noise came from. I don't think it's the compressor. It really sounds like it's coming from that transformer there, or whatever Fujitsu calls it, a reactor or something. It sounds like that's where that noise is coming from, and the compressor does start momentarily. Here it goes. Then it stops, and the fan continues to run. Weird stuff. All right, so that noise is coming from this part right here, this transformer. But I disconnected my compressor, and it's staying running. It's making that noise, but it's staying running. So I think I might have a compressor issue here. Oh, never mind, it did stop. It might have went on error, but I wasn't getting any errors before. It might have went out on error now without the compressor hooked up. We'll dig a little deeper. Yeah, so really weird noise coming from that unit. I'm going to replace that part. I'm going to do the inverter board and also the noise board is what they call it. So, and according to Fujitsu, we have to do all that before we can even get to the compressor to know if the compressor is bad or not. So this location is a good customer of ours. He's a good friend of the company. So I am going to see if the indoor heads we have will match up to one of the new Fujitsu outdoor units. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if it will or not, because I'd hate to put all this money and all these boards in this unit and still have a bad compressor. So if I can get a outdoor unit to match up to my 2 sealing cassettes that I have, then we're golden. I'm just gonna replace the outdoor unit. But so stay tuned for that. I'll let you know. All right. Same location. He's got a 5-ton package unit there. Just wanted us to go over it and check some stuff. So I didn't film much of that, but I did film a piece of it. So here you go. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of maintenance here. We're gonna check this capacitor and just do a once over. We already replaced the filter. It was in pretty bad shape. It's right there. So we got that replaced. But we're just going to check the capacitor, do a couple things. I don't have water access up here, which is a bummer, because I would love to clean this coil. But water access is non-existent up here, so we got to figure that out. All right, so we're going to haul off and do a underload capacitor test. And this is a 70 plus 7.5. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to get a voltage reading across common and Herm. Oh, I had it for a second. 273. And then we're going to take an amp draw on this wire here, the Herm wire, and it's 7.4. So we're going to put that in the HVAC. All right, we got our HVAC school app here. It's right there. Vortex by Tex. I get a lot of people asking about this app when I use it. It's called HVAC School, and I think the icon looks like that little gauge right there. So we put our readings in the HVAC School app under the underload capacitor test, and it's coming up good. So we are in good shape with this capacitor. All right, this last one here was a little bit of a scheduling mishap. It came in as a no cooling call, but it was actually a PM. It was actually a no cooling call a few days ago. There was a backed up condensate. Technician responded, cleared the condensate, and the emergency pan had filled up and it cut the unit off. So they called back to have the system PM'd, but I think they kind of came through as, it came through weird, whatever it was. So first I showed up to do a no cooling call, but I ended up just doing a PM. So I didn't do a whole lot of it, but I didn't film a whole lot of it, but I did film some of it, so take a look. All right, this is Nu-Calgon's Pure Green, or Pure Cool Green. This drain backed up the other day, and the technician cleared it and got it all good to go. So we followed up today to make sure it wasn't a cracked drain pan, and we're gonna add this little guy to the pan to make sure it doesn't back up again. So we're gonna put it a little bit deeper into the pan, about right there, away from the, we're gonna put it in the stream of the drain, but kind of away from it, and it's gonna stick itself to that drain pan. Right. And as condensate flows over that, it's gonna help keep that drain. We're about to use Nu-Calgon's New Bright coil cleaner, and we're going to be using their coil gun too. So we're going to put straight solution into the jug here, and the coil gun will pre-mix it for us. We're not going to go too heavy on this one because these units are newer. We're going to do a pre-rinse on it first. We're just rinsing from this side because these are pretty new. They're not that old, so we just want to knock the dirt off really. Then we're going to hook up our quick connect Nu-Calgon coil gun, and we're going to set this to A right there, and we're going to, so this is going to shoot foam out, and we're going to keep it moving. Get it all saturated good. Okay, so we wanted E, which is a 10-to-1 setting. A would be a 3-to-1. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a 10-to-1. We're going to keep on going with it. We don't want to leave this on too long because this coil cleaner is actually capable of taking the paint right off this unit. So we're just going to keep on working around on it, just trying to knock the dirt right off of it. Looks like we're running low now. Let me go ahead and get the back end before we run out. All right, then we're gonna, after all that's good and on there, you can see it foaming up right there on the coil. We're just gonna go ahead and rinse it right off. All right, I'm going to continue to rinse the rest of this off, but that's a quick demonstration on how to use the Nu-Calgon coil gun. Kenny's going to finish up rinsing these off for us. Like I said, we don't want to go too much coil cleaner on this because that coil cleaner will actually take this black coating on this coil right off if you let it sit on there too long. And plus, I did a pretty diluted mix anyway, and typically I would pull the fan blade and clean from the inside out, but where these units are new, I just really, like I said, want to knock the dirt off of them. All right, I just thoroughly cleaned the coil cleaner reservoir and the tool too. You want to get all that coil cleaner off there, because if not, it'll sit in there and it'll tear it up. So make sure you get all that off there. All right, well, that was most of my Friday there. I filmed a lot of my calls and we worked our way through it, and it was a long day. So but that's going to be it for this one, guys. So if you haven't done so already, please give this video a like, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. But all right, guys, I might not be able to get around to posting this until Saturday, but we'll see. All right, guys, hope everybody has a good weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one.